everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I'm coming to you on this Wednesday, September 11th, 2019, with my next update video. Just like to take a quick second here to acknowledge the fact that today is Remembrance Day here in the United States. 18 years ago is a day that we will never forget. And so I am in kind of a weird state. I wasn't sure if I was going to film today, but of all of the things that we learned on September 11th, 2001, it's that we have to keep going. We do a disservice to those who were lost if we stop living right along with them, and so so here we are, we're filming today. But I just want to take a second to just say thank you to all the men and women who are in our military service, as well as emergency services such as fire and rescue, and of course our police force. Thank you for really putting your lives on the line in this scary world that we live in. So this is going to be a really fast video, partially because I don't want to linger too long, and partially because I don't have all that much to talk about. I have some projects that I have worked on, a couple of plans, I need your help with something, and a knit, and that's it. As always, saving Q&A. I think we're going to do Q&A towards the 25th, so that's 2 weeks from today. And so if you have any questions you want to ask me, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will answer them in a Stitch With Me towards that point. But yeah, not doing Q&A today. I don't have any stash. My traveling 1-2-3 stitch package looks like it will be here on Friday, so that's cool. It's finally gonna make it here. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, you know, all that. But we'll see. So yeah, and other than that, I don't have any stash. I had a big purchase recently, and so that has sort of helped quell the want to buy things. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is. So let's just go ahead and jump in, and we'll get going with the works in progress. The last time that we spoke, I was working on Spooky Countdown by the Primitive Hare. However, I didn't work on that at all for the rest of the day. Between edit and upload, I took a nap, and then I had my fantasy football draft, and then Danny and I were watching shows, and before you know it, Wednesday is over. And that was the end of my stitching for the day. So I don't have that to show you because I showed you where I ended off last time. Thursday started my next rotation, and I spun my Spin Me September wheel with you guys, and the next project that came up was Glory of Autumn by Dimensions. This worked out really great. It turned into kind of an unintentional Sal. Sort of. Jemima, the rocking stitcher, decided to pull hers out, and then Amanda, the lazy stitcher, she pulled hers out and worked on it for a little while. So that was really cool. It was like a totally not planned Sal. So it looks like Amanda has got this bit basically done. Jemima is in here. She started in the center, and I am up here. So put all of them together. I wish I had Photoshop abilities because I would totally do that, but then we just need somebody to come over here and do this tree, and we'll have one completed project between the 3 or 4 of us. Anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool. And so my intention was to put 3 days into this, which is pretty much my plan for all of these. And I was a little apprehensive about it because I always have a hard time working on this. But let me show you the progress, and then we'll talk about all that. So I made some really good progress, y'all. Like I'm super excited about it. So as I said, I was apprehensive because I always have a hard time working on this, because until recently I had stuck with my standard of using a size 28 needle. And when you're doing half stitches with 4 or 5 strands, a 28 needle doesn't look good. And to be totally honest, I don't know if it's dimensions threads, but my 28 needle doesn't even work great for 2 strands on this. So I bumped up to a 26, and that really helped, not only with the really thick half stitches, like you see in the greens there, but it also just helped my 2 strands lay really nicely. And so I put in 2.5 days on this, and I managed a little over 1,500 stitches. It would have been a lot more than that, but half stitches only count for half, and so I got 1,500 total stitches, but probably closer to 1,800 actual stitch spaces filled in on my chart. Anyway, so yeah, I was really, really pleased with the amount of progress that I was able to make. Now, this is one of my WIPGO projects, and my WIPGO goal for the year was to put in 5 days, and I have now done that. So I'm going to insert here a preview of my WIPGO board so y'all can see the status of things. I am still a little bit of a ways away from a WIPGO bingo, but this helped. This helped quite a lot. And then just real quickly here, this is on 28 count antique white cachet linen. I subbed this fabric in and took out the kit Aida because I just prefer a linen. And yeah, I'm a fan. I am a fan. This tree, my favorite, for sure. It is like 99% complete. The last thing I have to do is a few purple stitches in here, but I had to call it quits. Beginning Saturday evening, I determined that resistance to Sampler September was a useless endeavor, and I needed to do something that was going to make me super happy, and I needed a sampler. So I decided to work on my Hope sampler, and this is living in a Momly bag that always makes me send a hug to Belinda Aussie Stitcher, because she commissioned this bag for me. So sweet. And so this is the Hope Sampler by Moira Blackburn. I've got my threads attached to the back of my needle minder. And so that is what this will look like finished. And it's beautiful. I love working on this. I am seriously, well, I'll talk about that maybe in a minute. Okay, so this is on 32 count Belfast in Green Apple from Extra Design, and I got a good chunk done on this, you guys, and I could have kept going. I could have. I'm afraid that if I'm showing this to you now, I'm going to want to go back to it, like now. I got a really good chunk done, and I'm really pleased with the way that the colors are showing up. That's really cool. So here it is here, and then I'll bring it in a little bit closer because one of the called for colors, the 4 and 5 there, can you see that now that I've pulled it up close? It's 613 and it gets almost completely lost in the fabric. This is not a true reproduction sampler. It's kind of an inspired sampler. And she chose these colors on purpose to make it look worn and old. And so the fact that these colors are disappearing into the fabric, at least at a distance, normally that would bother me tremendously, but it's not bothering me because it's intentional. And so that's where I'm at. So I kind of look at this sampler, it's divided up into 2 sections. The top is in bands, and then the bottom, really 2/3, is in motifs and things. And now the bands are all complete, and I'm thrilled. I am just so thrilled. So thrilled. I am using the called for DMC. The one exception to that is that my outer border and this this vine here, that is in Gloriana Sumatra. I just wanted something special to do for the borders and to just add some sort of special thread to this. So that's what I did. And it's this beautiful, here's color palette, but it's this beautiful blues and greens, and yeah, it's stunning. So there's the colors. I don't put whole skeins on these. I just do like a length or two. So there's that. And I'm just a huge fan. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So I was only going to work on this Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then I was going to spin again. However, School of Magical Stitches homework, I was able to apply all 3 tasks to this project. So I ended up working on it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And so I finished up down here yesterday. I was happy to put some more time into it, and I ended up putting in almost 2,500 stitches in those 3 days. I love it. Okay, one thing I don't love is this lowercase alphabet. And I mean, it looks like a computer-generated font, which I can get past, but the spacing is really just where I have issues. Between the I and the J, and between the F and the G, I just feel like that could have been smooshed together a little bit. But anyway, I love this anyway. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Huge fan. So much so that I think I said on Instagram the other day that I need to finish some things because I want to start a whole bunch of samplers. Y'all, I can't tell you how much time I lost on the Scarlet Letter website and the Country Sampler website this week. Yeah, if I hadn't just purchased Thine is the Trick and the Treat, there would be some stuff on its way to me. But I am resisting because I have 65 projects currently going, and I know that if I were to order those and they hit my doorstep, I'd start them, and I can't give them the time that I want to. So those things are going to have to hold off for a little while. But in the meantime, I've got this going, and maybe something else a little later. But we'll talk about that in a second. Last night, just before bed, I spun my wheel for Spin Me September. It was time to get back to that and to pull up a project to work through my Whip Go goals, because that's really something that I would really like to accomplish. So I pulled the Flower of the Month Sal by Maurer-Stroh, and I started working on it here this morning. So this is on 32 count Belfast linen in cream from Zweigart, and I had the top 3 flowers done before this point. My goal for this project for the year is a total of 5 new flowers, so I need to do this row and then one more to reach my goal, because March's jonquils I finished earlier this year. So I got started here, and this is April's Sweet Pea. So you will have seen a preview of what the whole thing will look like finished, as well as April's Sweet Pea, so I can give you an idea of where I'm working at. These designs are outstanding. I mean, they're gorgeous. They don't use a million colors. This block calls for 11 colors, and one of them is just this brown color for the border. And the rest is 10 colors for the flowers and the leaves. And look at how dimensional that is. Just one little petal, looking really good already. I'm so impressed. Everybody always asks me whenever I work on this, where do I find that pattern? Y'all, it's a freebie, and I have it linked in the description box below. So get over there and get a hold of it if you are interested. It is a 12-part freebie series offered by Maurer-Stroh. I've been working on this since 2015, and it it's remained free for all of that time. So go ahead and get it if you're interested. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to work on, and it's really pretty. The one thing that I will tell you is that this, with the flower name sort of stuck into the bottom border there, that's my addendum to it. That's not a part of the chart. But I just thought that I would stick the names of the flowers in there. So there is that. And I will work on this, let me think, today, tomorrow, and then a little bit on Friday. I am participating in an event with the Ultimate Cross Stitch group, in which we're in sort of a team thing, and it's an elimination game, and we have 3 days, and we can only work on one project for each of those 3 days. So to do my part, I've got to continue working on this, despite the fact that I have some other ideas about Friday. But nonetheless, no before and afters for that one. I will show you that next week after I finish up my 3 days on it. All right, so let's switch over into plans. So let's talk about the one thing that I know for certain is coming up. This weekend in Full Coverage Fanatics is the Ancient Adventures Challenge weekend. And the premise is to pull out your oldest full coverage piece and stitch on it and see how much you can get done. There's no stitch counts or anything like that. It's just work on your oldest one. Well, for me, that is in this moment. So in this moment, artwork by Jeremiah Kettner, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, aka Mika McKenna. Love this one. So excited to get to work on it again. And I stitch all of my HAEDs 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. This is full cross. And I've shown this not too long ago. I haven't worked on it in a long time, but here's where I'm starting from. So I'll be working on page 12 here, which is the face page, and I'm really hoping that with those couple of days, I'll be able to get into her face. I've got a little bit of hair left to do. She's got like hair curved around her face, around her forehead. So I'm hoping that I can get down to her face because I'd really like to see how those purples in her skin are going to show up. So yeah, so that's what I'll be working on this weekend. Okay, so I told you, flower of the month I need to work on Friday. Friday is a day, y'all. Friday is Friday the 13th, and it's currently Sampler September, and Friday night we also have a full moon, and it's a harvest full moon. I need to have a new start. It's dark 13 stitching, like I need to have a new start. And so I went to my stash and I had to poke around to see what samplers or sampler-esque things I had that were also kind of dark 13 stitching. And a lot of these I pulled because a lot of them have a moon in it because full harvest moon. So I think I'm going to have a new start on Friday. It's just going to be the second half of the day. Danny is headed down to Blacksburg for the weekend for the Hokies game. I'm not going. And so I have just Friday to devote to this. But I just kind of want to commemorate this day. Like it's just a cool day. So I posted to Instagram stories a poll. And so you are more than welcome to vote there. But I thought that I would show you guys here what my options are in the event that you want to cast your vote. Keep in mind that this is happening starting on Friday the 13th, and so if you cast your vote on Sunday or Monday, like I'm not going to see it. It's already going to be, or I'll see it, but it's already happened at that point. So that's why I have it up on Instagram stories, because not everybody's going to have time to watch this video in this shortened timeline. So these are my 6 options. I had a ton more and I narrowed it down to 6 because I just thought that I would keep it simple and go with things that I'm fairly certain or very certain that I have fabric for. So I'll just go with the half size patterns first. This is Stacey Nash Primitives Blackwater Hollow. And this is based on the actual Not Forgotten farm in Southwest Virginia. So that's cool. Okay, up next, Sampler September was basically created by Teresa of Shakespeare's Peddler. And so Jenny Bean's Halloween. Yep, that seems to be a good idea. And then here's one that I have been dreaming about. Martha Agnes, also by Stacey Nash. This was made popular last year. And yeah, I would really like to stitch this. I do have fabric for that, for certain. Okay, now these are the full-size patterns. We have Barbara Anna, Something Wicked. This one and the next one aren't really samplers, but they're sampler-ish. So this is Something Wicked. Very cool, and like not crazy fast, but could be a relatively quick stitch. Plus, never done a Barbara Anna before. Okay, up next is Plum Street Samplers Garden of Erie. I had to take this one out of the plastic because the glare was severe on this one. So Frankenstein's Monster and His Bride. Yeah, this would be really cool. And I'm fairly certain I have fabric for that too. I have fabric for all of these. None of these are ginormous. And then the last one is Autumn 1831 by Samplers Not Forgotten. This one I picked up in one of McKenna's attic needlework sales. And yeah, super cool. That house, man. That's a lot of gray, but nonetheless. So those are my 6 options. Vote for them if you want to. You don't have to. I've got a poll going up on Instagram stories. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll start that on Friday afternoon, work on it Friday evening, and then I'll go to In This Moment starting on Saturday. The Ancient Adventures weekend is supposed to run Friday through Sunday, but I'm just going to shorten the timeline a little bit, and I'll work on it Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday, because why not? Okay, so that's it for the plans. This video, I think, is going to be even shorter than last week. Let's move on to the knitting. Knitting here is real quick. This is really just kind of an update on my Socrates shrug that I showed you guys last week. I am working on this a little bit, not every day, but every day that I work on it, I try to do at least 5 rows of the color work. And I am over the halfway point on the color work now, so that's pretty cool. But still a little ways to go. So here's where we are at this point. Let me just put my yarn. There we go. So when you last saw this, I was down here. And so I have knit all of this above that point. Just a quick reminder, this is the Socrates. The designer is Jill Zielinski. The yarns I'm using, the maroon, which is showing up very red on camera, but it's definitely more purpley, is Heartbeat by Madeline Tosh in their Tosh Vintage Base. The neutral is Sandbank by Maurer-Stroh and their Rio Space. Both are worsted 100% superwash merino. So there is the Heartbeat. That's like the most accurate right there. And Sandbank. And so I'm just working up this left sleeve here and loving it. Just absolutely loving it. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how this is coming together. I guess I'll show you guys the back. I love the back of Stranded Color Work. Very cool looking. Very cool looking. The great thing about Stranded Color Work is that it kind of creates a double layer of fabric. So these sleeves are going to be, I mean, they're huge, but they're going to be warm because it's like a double layer of fabric. That's pretty cool. So that is my Socrates, and that's all I've been working on. It's still the only thing that I really feel like working on. The latest edition of the Shawl Society, I love it, and I have yarn pegged for it. I just don't have the urge to switch from this yet. So I'm just going to keep going with this for a while, and then whenever I feel like casting on that new Shawl Society, then I will. But who knows? No telling. Another fast one, y'all. I knew it was going to happen, but we've, you know, it's kind of nice to do some super long videos and then a couple of short ones, and then I'm sure inevitably we'll have some longer ones towards the end of the month with the Stitch With Me's and whatnot. Plus, we will have to talk about Dark October stitching here before too long. Anyway, so I think that that's going to be it from me. One last administrative note before I head off officially is that my next video will be next Thursday, September 19th. That's an important date if you've watched one of my recent videos. I won't tell you which one, but just so you know, next Thursday is the day, and so that's when I'm going to film next. And so yeah, I think that's everything. I'm gonna head off, get this edited. I always think I'm putting in too many syllables there. And get back to stitching. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support of me and my channel. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're stitching. As always, be kind. See you next time.